Monday, January 30, following godly counsel. We are material beings and we live in a material world, a world that at times can be very alluring. You'd have to be made of steel and synthetic oil, not flesh and blood, not to feel at times the lure of material possessions and the desire for wealth. At one time or another, who hasn't fantasized about being rich or winning the lottery? Though we all face it, and there is nothing wrong in and of itself in working hard to earn a good living, or even being wealthy, none of us has to succumb to the trap of making idols out of money, wealth, and material possessions. We are promised divine power to stay faithful to what we know is right. This is important because the temptation of wealth and material possessions has led to the ruin of many souls. Read Matthew 6:24 and 1 John chapter 2, verse 15. Though expressed differently, what's the common theme found in both of these scriptures? Matthew 6:24. No one can serve two masters, for either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will be loyal to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve God and mammon. And we compare that with 1 John 2, verse 15. Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. Unfortunately, the love of the world can be so strong that people will get into debt in order, as they hope, to satisfy that love. It never works. See Ecclesiastes 4 verse 8. There is one alone without companion. He has neither son nor brother, yet there is no end to all his labours, nor is his eye satisfied with riches. But he never asks, for whom do I toil and deprive myself of good? This also is vanity and a grave misfortune. And because debt is one of Satan's nets that he sets for souls, it just makes sense that God would like to see his children debt-free. He has given us counsel through the Bible and the prophetic gift that will lead us to financial freedom. Read Psalm 50, verses 14 and 15. What attitude should God's people live with? What does it mean to pay your vows, as it says in the New King James Version? Let's read that in Psalm 50, verse 15 and 14. Offer to God thanksgiving and pay your vows to the Most High. Call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you, and you shall glorify me. We enter into our church membership with praise and thanksgiving to our God, who has created and redeemed us. In point 9 of 13 in our baptismal vows, we are asked, do you believe in church organisation? Is it your purpose to worship God and to support the church through your tithes and offerings, and by your personal effort and influence? As Seventh-day Adventists, we all said yes. So this text, Psalm 50, verses 14 and 15, is a promise to those who offer thanksgiving to God and are faithfully paying their vows. And so to finish today, what do your choices tell you about how well you deal with the lure of the world? Why is working hard to earn a good living not necessarily the same thing as making an idol of wealth or money? How can we learn the difference? This lesson was read by Dr. Percy Harrold for Christian Services for the Blind. Sponsored by the Sabbath School Department and distributed through Hope Channel Australia, this podcast is also redistributed by Hope Channel Germany, Christian Record Services for the Blind. It is also available on SoundCloud and through multiple podcast distributors, including Apple iTunes. And you can listen and watch at the same time on YouTube. Remember, God is always faithful. And here is a disclaimer. Contents of these lessons are not intended to be financial advice, but is general commentary based on biblical principles. The reader is encouraged to seek competent professional advice which will suit their particular personal situation.